Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of World of Tanks Xbox Console Edition. I'm your host, TedTokez. I'm very grateful for you to be here. I hope you enjoy the video. So let's get right into it. Now, this first match, you can see we start shooting into the enemies while pushing forward, which is pretty standard for ourselves. Once we get up here, we realize that we're on the front line now. We're no longer at a point where we're... The thing is, if we push any further, we're just in wide open cover, no cover in the wide open, and we'd be going into the enemy territory for no reason. A lot less risky now that one guy up there is going. However, even though that player's still gonna get the brute of the force because of the initiation, and that's the way it goes, you know. I still managed there and get rid of the two barrels that teammate was trying to conquer, and I give props to him for trying, because most of them, as you can see, they'd rather sit back there and wait until they got free points by default that, you know, eventually by default they won. And that's not what that guy was doing. He was going in there almost like he was on a suicide mission, but still, you know, whether he made the impact, whether that player made the impact or not, my tank was there. I was there as an asset to reinforce that previous teammate that was pushing up ahead of me. Now I want to let you guys in on a little secret for just to get in the head of a frontline player for a second. I want you guys to understand how I think and feel about this, because it may be my opinion, but I'd have to say I genuinely got and feel like I got more support from that tank going up there and getting himself destroyed than I did from the Overwatch. I genuinely felt like I got more support from that guy or girl who went up there and destroyed their own tank trying to do whatever they were doing. Oh, we do a little crash right there. You see that? Poor driving, poor shooting from that enemy. We send one, it bounces off of that enemy. We rotate back around and try and get that first primary threat that we had. I miss a ram ski. I went in there for a ram. I could clearly see that was an attempt at a ram, or I wanted to at least, even if I thought that I knew I wouldn't get it. Boom, we'll land a little bit of fire into him. Get a nice penetration down the side. The enemy starts to rotate us, but that's okay, because we got the tank's agility to just rotate with them. I keep that angle on him so that he has a unlikelier chance at penetrating me. I managed to work him down, maybe with the help of teammates eventually. But you know, that's the way it goes. Guy showed up when it was too late to help me, and now I won on my own anyways, and we're gonna go help him, you know, follow behind the scout and do what we're supposed to do as a heavy. Trying to find that last enemy on this one, and I tell you what, people, it's probably a good thing that I fast forward some of these sections, because the amount of time that is wasted in this game, even when you're not wasting time, it's really absurd to me. The community's gone downhill. 5 years ago, when we had artilleries in the matches, you know, because there was only that kind of mode to even play, you know, we used to have maybe, at most, you were only allowed 3 artilleries on a team. And, you know, we had 2 to 3 tanks hanging out by artilleries like they were helping them. Now we got 12 tanks that think they're a tank that's not even in this game mode anymore, and it really is sad. It ruins the gameplay of each individual player. It ruins the gameplay of any teammate that individual player could be playing with. It ruins the essence of teamwork that makes the game better than it would be without each other. There we go. We pull up to that front line, get a penetration. We end up getting one as well. Start losing some more health on top of that one. We land another shot into the side of them. And at this point, I'm stuck there. You know, my tracks eventually are going to fix themselves, but I'm just going to lay fire down into them and see what kind of damage I can impact on them. Oh, what the heck is this? I'm turning away. I don't see that too often, folks. I'm going to be honest. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know if I see a flank or something that I don't see right now, which is very possible. I could easily see myself doing what I'm starting to see myself doing. Because I'm not going to sit over there in that 9-0 little roadway for the whole game when there's like, that's what I'm saying. These people think that they're actually playing the game because they go sit in a fucking square all game and eventually do something here or over there while sitting in that same square all game. It's ridiculous. You're not a participant. You're not even one of the good players if you do good. Why? Simple as the fact that the people on the front line that might have did half of your points, well, they at least did half of your points. All of your points are probably because of the half of their points that they even got. You can't argue with me if which one's more important. If front lines was less important than Overwatch, then why would we even have front lines? I've never once sat here and acted like Overwatch wasn't important, but the reality of it is it's definitely not as important. And here's the thing. You guys have actually turned Overwatch from an asset into a liability. That's what you guys have done with this game on World of Tanks. And I don't know about any of the other wargaming games or any of the other, combat-based, community games. But it seems like every community, the whole community here is just it's probably one of the worst communities I've ever played with. They're the most selfish, the least participation, and probably the least skill as well. There's not many of them that are even good. Half of the good ones are only good by default because of how they play. It's not their skill. Anybody could do it if they knew that the tank could do that, or they did that with that tank. It wasn't a matter of skill that separated the difference. You know what I'm saying? When I get less than 1,000 damage and I'm up in podium next to players that have 2-3 kills worth of damage, that's skill. Alright? That's not me just doing things because my tank can. That's me earning a placement on the board, knowing that because of certain statistics, I shouldn't be registered as far as I am. But because of the recognition of other just as important factors to the outcome, guess what? I was probably pretty fucking important. It looks like I'm kind of just buying myself time here. I don't want to go. I don't know what I'm doing. I was just kind of driving around in circles. We end up getting blown up by the tanks we run into, so that was a crappy ending of a match, but it is what it is. You can't win them all. Sometimes you end up getting blown up, And as you can see, man, after I'm, destroyed, just a carcass on the ground, only able to evaluate at this point. Couldn't participate even if I wanted to. You can see that the rest of the team, it's a 9v6, and if you look, it's really like a 2v1 down in G7, and then there's like a 4v4 going on. Well, what was a 4v4? They managed to get rid of some of the enemies already pretty quick. But that's how quick the game is when you actually like have teammate tanks and enemy tanks facing off with each other, not hiding in some hills waiting for a free point so that they can feel like they got to kill, 4 or 5 shots down the road.